Let's get into that line from Mr. Bullard. He's left the FOMC, so he can speak a little bit more openly, as you can as well. Your base case is still 2. When do we start to see another bump in the road, together with all the other bumps in the road, no longer be called bumps in the road on the FOMC?
I think it's going to take time. I think Chair Powell has made it very clear that he's willing to look through these bumps. To use his phrase, the inflation story hasn't changed. So they will need overwhelming evidence that it is more than a bump in order for them to change their views.
You think they're too sensitive to recent data and maybe not being strategic enough. What do you mean by that?
So I think if you look forward, and you talked about in the last hour about business confidence, if you look forward, there's reasons to believe that this economy may slow. So if you are setting policy not according to what has happened, but according to the lags with which the policy operate, you would be more dovish than you would be otherwise. If, however, you focus exclusively on the data, you will end up being too hawkish.
You talk about small business optimism. Let's go there. It came in at the lowest level since December of 2012. Sometimes it's hard to know how to read some of these gauges, especially because we get people on all the time saying they're all broken. How important is this in contrast with all of the bullishness and the MOMO and the FOMO and the WOWO that we keep hearing?
Lisa, it's really important. The big mistake that was made in 2021 when people embrace the transitory narrative was they didn't listen to the companies. And the companies were clearly saying, we have inflationary pressures in the pipeline, we have pricing power, we're going to pass on that imported inflation, if you like, that was coming in. This time around, listen to the earnings call, and they are worried about the outlook for the rest of the year. So I do think you need to listen to them, because often the aggregate data doesn't capture what businesses are feeling on the ground.